Okay, can you do a Daniel impression?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go for it. Just like ask me something.
Wait, are we like testing it, or should I open up the show right now? Or never mind. Okay, all right, I'll ask you something. So, so Daniel, uh, how? Fuck, this is gonna be so bad. Can I just ask you how's life?
The usual.
All right. So Daniel, how's
I don't
life?
know. The usual.
That's God.
Yeah, Daniel
That
would.
is not a good
Yeah,
impression.
yeah, Daniel would never say that. You can't
The
imagine.
voice just that was just your voice.
I don't know how to do Daniel's voice. It sounds. I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, let's start, I guess.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
Hey guys, welcome to the 11th episode of Fantasy and Friends.
It's Fantasy and
Uh,
Friends minus Daniel. It's Fantasy and
yeah,
Friend.
yeah,
It's because like we each have just one friend on it, and like
yes,
it's me
yeah.
for you and you for me. So
So,
anyway,
so
I'm Jake returning.
I'm, I'm Alok. Yeah, Jake's back from
I'm
assignment.
back
So,
from reporting on the field.
yeah, but now Daniel had to go report on the field, so he's gone this week, but he should be back next week.
You never know.
Or, I mean, he could get an extension. It really depends. Like, this sort of stuff is, when you're on call, anything can happen. So, uh,
I suppose yes, that is correct. And in case we tricked any of you out there, that was indeed not Daniel at the beginning. It was a cunningly disguised Daniel impression done by Alok.
yeah, it was amazing. I know.
We're all proud of you. Anyway, let's get started. Let's get started here. This is going to be interesting. Just the two of us. So
It was
bear with us, everybody. Just bear with us. We're
okay.
gonna try our best. Um, so I guess we'll start off by looking at some matchups from the past week.
Oh yeah. So, uh, you mean like the pitching
That's
matchups? Oh,
that's what he has here. I guess yeah. I think it's the pitching matchups from last week.
okay.
Um, so what was it? This was Anibal Sanchez,
It was Ulysses
Ulysses
Chassin, Animal
Chassin, and
Sanchez,
Joe
and
Musgrove.
yeah. So I
So I
think
wasn't here, obviously.
right.
So who'd you guys take?
So we both took Chassin, Sanchez, and Musgrove. Chassin was the clear best out of the three of them, but he didn't do too well. It was 6 innings and 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts.
I mean, that's solid. Not
It's
you know.
it's like 8 points in our fantasy league, so I mean, sure, wasn't. But like Annabelle Sanchez and Joe Musgrove, like I think it was 5 innings, 4 earned runs, and then 6 and 5 or something like that.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
look it up again.
here. I'm looking. Animal Sanchez had 6 innings, 5 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. Came out negative in our league. And
And then
then
Musgrove,
yeah, go ahead.
and then Musgrove was 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. So, uh,
Yeah, so I mean, it's hard
if
to say who was worse, but with our points system, it went Chassin, Musgrove, Sanchez.
yeah. So, well,
None of
we
those
tried.
were particularly good. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so I
that's
mean, you guys
okay.
got Chassin, right?
We got Chassin. Oh, that wasn't too difficult, considering he was home against the Giants. Um,
Yeah, fair enough. Um, anyway, next, I guess we want to talk about Carlos Correa.
yeah.
Carlos Correa going on the DL.
The thumb injury, he's supposed to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, but I think Ken Rosenthal reported that it'd be closer to 8. So really until close to the end of the
So yeah, you're
season.
looking at not a lot of value coming out of Correa for the rest of the year. Um,
Well,
so
yeah,
we
like
were
zero.
well, right, zero, but then maybe a week of value or
Maybe,
something at the end.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so we were going to talk about some of your options if you have Correa on your team and you just lost him. So like,
Yeah.
what were you thinking?
So say your name is Jack, and you have Carlos Correa, and you have Carlos Correa, and then he goes on the DL. You already had Trey Turner go on the DL, so you're like, crap. Um, so there were three guys that I noticed, um, at least in our league, or at least in ESPN leagues, were not as owned, but still had decent had still had decent seasons so far, or could have future uh, success in the rest of the season. So the three guys I have are one, Orlando Arcia. Um, he's a guy that I already have picked up to replace Brandon Crawford, and we talked about him earlier in the in this series a couple
Okay, all right.
episodes ago.
Words, buddy, words.
Words. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So he's been doing well this season. 281 average, 416 slugging. Some people might be hesitant to pick him up based on last season, but based on his success in the minors, I think this season is legit. Um, I mean, yeah, he's a top shortstop in our league. Um, that's about all I have about him, just because we've talked about him before in the series. So you can look to episode
Just
the
watch all of it, man.
yeah, just watch all of it. But it's July 6th. Our July 6th episode is where we talked about Orlando Arcia. So I have two other guys that people are either picking up or could do well. So I have Didi Gregorius. I didn't pick him because um, I'm a little hesitant about his second half, just because last season he also had a good first half, but also didn't do particularly well in the second half. So in the first half, he hit I think 290-ish in 2016, and then in the second half he hit about 250, and it seemed like yeah. So in the first half of 2016, Didi Gregorius hit 298. In the second half, he hit 251, and it seemed like a contributing factor to that was the fact that he hit a lot more fly balls in the second half, which he's starting to do again in the second half of 2017. So if you're thinking about Didi Gregorius, um, I'd be a little hesitant about him, but I think he'd be doing all right.
Yep. And
But
then
yeah, to put numbers to support that, Didi Gregorius last season had a sub one ground ball to fly ball rate in the second half, and then he's starting to progress to that point again in 2017. So TLDR, you can pick him up, but I'd be a bit hesitant about him. And then I also have Jose Reyes because it seemed like a lot of people were picking him up.
yeah,
He
that's
has
for
a
sure.
bit of a hot streak right now.
He's
Um,
doubled in his percent owned in ESPN leagues. More than
yeah,
double.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So he's hitting 231 so far, but I think by the end of the season he'll move towards his 2016 campaign where he's hitting like 267, slugging 443. I don't think he'll stay as a 231 hitter for the rest of the season. And the reason is his BABIP is lower than his career average. I mean, it's a 240 BABIP this season, and he generally has your average around 300 BABIP. And as far as I can tell, I don't see any reason for that BABIP to be any lower than what it was last season. He's hitting the same number of fly balls and ground balls, and his heart rate is slightly down, but from last season, but it's still his career norm. So I think he's had a bit of bad luck so far. Um, but
Yeah, so
I think
basically we're just expecting him to pick up.
Yeah, basically, I think he'll get back to his 2016 form for the rest of the season.
I would like to add one to the list. I think Daniel's going to yell at me for sure.
God.
The Phillies shortstop Freddie Galvis.
Freddie Galvis.
You're honestly, don't expect fireworks from this guy, but he's going to be a solid 250 hitter. This season, he's slugging 419, which is, okay. He's basically just a generally consistent kind of average hitter. In our league, at least, he's actually up there among the top-ranked shortstops by points alone. And he's at a very low percent owned, so you could honestly get him really easily. And although he's not really as exciting as any of these other guys, he's probably going to put up some consistent points.
Slight bias. Jake is a Phillies fan.
The only reason is I'm in the only region that has ever heard of him. So yeah, I just wanted to add that he would be a solid acquisition, probably. Anyway.
Okay, so
moving on.
Those are Carlos Correa potential replacements. So now move on to JD Martinez, who's just recently in a trade to the Diamondbacks. So Jake, what are your thoughts?
Let me pull him up right here. JD Martinez.
JD Martinez.
What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
So, JD Martinez, he's obviously had success in the past few seasons. He's a top hitter in the league. And he's moving to an even better division, I think, to hit in. Because, he's moving to Chase Field. And, yeah, Comerica Park is a bit of a hitter's park, but Chase Field is even more of a hitter's park. And then on top of that, the pitching in the NL West, he has to worry about the Dodgers, of course, but beyond that,
it's not much.
Yes, the Colorado, San Francisco, and San Diego all have team ERAs above the National League average. So I think he'll do more or less the same as he did in the Tigers, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's an improvement.
I would agree.
Okay.
I think you don't have a whole lot to lose. This is a valuable guy, and he's probably only going to get better.
Yeah.
Okay. So next we've got a couple of probably underrated relief pitchers, Sean Doolittle and Ryan Madsen, who were both just traded to the Washington Nationals, who everybody knows have been searching for, at all competent relief pitchers. So look, what do you think? What do you think about these two guys? Are they worth picking up?
Well, yeah. Doolittle has a K9 of 12.49. He has an ERA of 3.63, but with the strand rate
that's a little low for a potential closer, really. But.
A little low for a potential closer, but I think he can pull that down in the future, given that his strand rate's 59.3%, which is
it's pretty good.
Well below his career average of like 71%. And then his FIP is about 2.51, so that's a difference of about a run.
Yeah.
The only thing I see that could hinder regression is his 213 BABIP, but I still think that he'll do better with the Nationals. Also because compared to the AL West, the NL East hit in terms of hitting, there's the Mets, but then there's also the Marlins and the Braves and the Phillies. where while the AL West has, Houston, of course, and then Seattle and Texas. And I believe if I pull up the stats again, I think it was, yeah, so, I don't know, this is pitching, but if I remember correctly, the top four teams in terms of runs scored in the AL include Houston, Texas, and Seattle. So that's already
all right. In terms of runs scored, Houston is number one. The rest of that is not true.
Well, in the AL.
Oh, in the AL. All right. So we got Houston, Washington, Colorado, New York Yankees, the Dodgers, Brewers, D-backs. Yeah. Okay. Then the Mariners, Rangers.
Yeah.
Sox. Anyway. Okay. Yeah.
So out of the top four in runs scored in the AL, 3 of them are in the AL West. So I think both Doolittle and Madsen, I think, will do better in the NL East.
I mean, that's true. And you didn't really talk much about Madsen, but he generally just has slightly better stats than Doolittle. That's what it seems like to me. His BABIP is not great.
Yeah, that's
a bit of an issue, but honestly, it's whatever he's doing, it's working. He's got a 2.01 ERA.
Yeah. 2.01 ERA, 2.39 FIP. And
so, I mean, you should expect probably each of these guys to get a chance of being the closer, but I would honestly expect Madsen to get the job. So, you don't think so?
I think I would go Doolittle here, maybe. But again, either of these guys I think could work as the closer.
What was Doolittle's K9?
12.49.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but again,
either one. Basically, you're going to have one as the closer and then one as pretty much the setup man. So either one's going to have some fantasy value.
Yeah. It's just saves or holds.
Yep.
Depends on what Dusty Baker wants.
All right. All right, so next, and also, well, we're okay on time. All right, next, we've got Yohan Moncada and Todd Frazier.
Yeah, so,
let me see here.
I guess, so, Jake, what are your thoughts about, I guess, first, the trade between the White Sox and the Yankees, Todd Frazier, David Robertson, and Tom Conley, for, some Yankees prospects, most notably Blake Rutherford, but...
So, all right, so who was it? Todd Frazier,
David Robertson, Tommy Conley.
Well, okay, Daniel Robertson.
David Robertson. The White Sox.
Right. Yeah, right, okay. Sorry. I'm struggling here. Alright, David Robertson. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a solid closer, yeah.
He's a top closer. He was with the Yankees for a while, set up Manto Rivera, and then he was the closer for a while.
Yeah, of course, Todd Frazier is kind of having a garbage year.
Yeah, I mean...
He's hitting 206.
He has the home runs, I guess.
He does have the home runs. I guess he's kind of just in the MLB.
I think he'll do better in terms of fantasy value on the Yankees because he'll also get a lot more runs scored / RBIs depending on where he hits in the lineup.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, he's still struggling with the average and on-base percentage. But I guess if he can pull those up, he could be a fairly valuable asset.
Yeah. I mean, I can see improvement in Todd Frazier's game
in
terms of fantasy value.
Who was the third?
Tommy Conley, another relief pitcher who's, pretty solid.
Tommy Conley. And I can't find him.
His last name's spelled a little weird. Kahnle.
Kah.
Yeah.
All right.
having a pretty impressive year so far.
Yeah,
He had a
that
impressive.
is pretty impressive. 2.43 ERA, 0.95 WHIP, 62 strikeouts.
15 strikeouts per 9.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean,
so he clearly has upside, but the question is he gonna get a whole lot of use with the Yankees?
because the Yankees now have like 4 top relievers.
Right.
They have Chapman, Betances, Robertson, Conley. They got rid of Clippard too, in that trade. So use is obviously a concern for Conley.
Right. So obviously they can do a little bit bullpen by committee, but I think in general Conley is going to be among the less used of those 4.
Yeah, I think just yesterday, in a 6-1 loss, Twins versus Yankees, they ended up using Conley in the last inning. So
okay, well, he'll still play from time to time.
Right,
still get strikeouts for sure. It's just probably not going to get the saves or holds as much.
Yeah, and then
that's the only concern.
This might also affect Betances' use because Chapman's going to stay as the closer. And I remember reading somewhere, for the life of me, I can't remember where, that Robertson would end up being the setup man. So that would push Betances to be the 7th inning guy.
Right. So, and Conley would be basically nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
with the Yankees rotation, you're probably not going to need much of a dedicated 6th inning guy. Honestly.
I mean...
yeah.
Well, you might. They have, like, Tanaka, Pineda just died.
Yeah, Pineda died.
Severino's doing well, and then Montgomery's okay. So, I can see a use for the bullpen, of course, but Conley's still definitely the guy who would probably have the least use out of Robertson.
Yeah, out of the 3, for
Conley.
sure.
Out of the 4, really, if you include Chapman.
Right, so Moncada?
So Yohan Moncada, he just got called up, and in our league, Hopton already picked him up.
Yep.
So,
he's supposed to be a top prospect.
He's supposed to be the number 1 prospect.
And he's supposed to be the number 1 prospect, and they have stated that they're going to be starting him at 3rd for the remainder of the season. So, obviously, not a lot to go on. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, that one game, he has a on-base percentage of .333, so it's a high sample size.
Very high sample size, as always.
So, I mean, we
can take a quick look at his minor league stats. Obviously,
they're
impressive.
all
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he had 282. So his slash line in 2017 was 282, 377, 447. So pretty good. But then before that, he had, with the Red Sox organization, because remember he was in the Chris Sale trade. He was in 2016, 277, 379, 531. So those are some pretty solid numbers.
Yeah, I mean that's it's enough to. This might sound stupid, but it's enough to give him a look at least.
Yeah, I mean he's number 1 prospect.
He's number 1 prospect, and
if you need help at third base, this guy could probably help.
Certainly a good option. All right, next, Parker Bridwell. Parker Bridwell, what do we got? Okay.
So he also just got called up recently. Just like 7 games ago or something.
Well, called back up.
Called back up, yeah.
Called back up, yeah.
Well, he played like 2 games in 2016. And that was it.
Yeah, so he played... Well, no, I mean, my point was he's been up earlier this year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's been up for 7 games this year.
Okay, right. So, yeah, I mean, what do you think of him? Do you think he's worth picking up?
I'd be hesitant about this guy. I mean, he's been doing well so far. But a 91% strand rate with a 5.38 FIP is a little concerning. And in the minors, he was okay, but he was never like one of the Orioles' top prospect when he was in their organization. I mean, if you look at his minor league stats, um, let's see, his lowest ERA was 3.99. So everything else was obviously above 4, besides, I guess, a 4-game run in AAA in 2016.
1.8.
Yeah, but like,
yeah,
again.
Yeah, so basically questionable. You think he's just kind of on a hot streak?
I think he's just kind of on a hot streak.
Nobody's used to him yet.
Maybe in a deep league where pitching might be shallow, like maybe like a 15-team league, you might want to pick him up in case you get lucky. But I don't have a high opinion.
Yeah, that's
Parker.
Fair. Okay. All right. So another potential starting pitcher to pick up, Steven Matz. Obviously not potential. I think everybody pretty much owns him. Right. So what are we saying about Matz?
I mean,
is it how he's just gone downhill?
Well, I think it was like, I think he's been doing well recently.
Well,
if I remember
he
correctly.
Was, and then his last 2 starts were, trash.
Wait, who was he against for the last?
Who was he against? St. Louis and Colorado. So I mean,
Colorado.
Colorado, but I mean, not everybody gives up seven runs in the first inning against Colorado.
That's rough. That is a rough.
And then 5 runs in only 4 innings against St. Louis is just kind of bad. So he's still listed as healthy, but obviously there's some injury kind of question marks here, since he's been so consistent pretty much all year.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the only starts he's had against good hitting teams he started against the Nationals twice.
Yeah, one of which was good, one was okay. I mean, he shut out the Nationals through 7. And then he gave up 4 runs through 7 again. So that's, I mean, it's fine.
It's usable.
It's the Nationals. So, 4 runs through 7 is among the better performances against them this year.
And against the Dodgers, 6-3, 3 runs in 6 innings. It's also
fine. It's a quality start.
But
yeah. So I mean, what do you think? Are you dropping him? Should you drop him? I guess that's what we're trying to get at here. Is it that something has happened to him and he's going to be going downhill for the rest of the season? Is it just a hiccup, or is it that these 2 teams, or specifically Colorado, is finally showing what he really is, and that he's not he can't really compete with the good hitting teams?
Well, I mean, I don't think he's actually a 7 earned runs in 1 inning pitch.
No, but do you think these? What I'm saying is, do you think these 2 games are just a hiccup, or do you think they're indicative that this could come again in the future?
I think. I don't think we can expect Steven Matz to be what was it? His let me pull up his splits. Yeah, his 2.92 ERA in July seemed that's his walks per 9. Never mind. Yeah, that was dumb. We can edit that out.
Yes, we totally will.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think his July run was more indicative of who Steven Matz is right now.
And what are those numbers?
8.76 ERA.
Ah.
Well, at least compared to his 2.67 ERA in June.
Right. So he.
Because in June he sported a 218 BABIP and a 95% strand rate. So with about 4.99 FIP. So I don't think Steven Matz is the June version of Steven Matz. I think July might have been a bit more insane for him, but I can see him being about like a
somewhere in the middle.
High fours ERA.
Yeah, so more or less where he is now.
More or less.
More or less where he is now. The combination of the two. So basically you're saying drop him / don't pick him up. Not worth it.
If you're okay with a guy with a high fours ERA, then maybe in a deeper league again.
In a deeper league, yeah. All right. So yeah, on from Steven Matz to another recently struggling pitcher, Jason Vargas. Jason Vargas of the Royals. So I don't have his splits pulled up, but he was he was having a pretty solid year. No really bad starts actually. And
that's generally a good thing.
That is generally a good thing for sure. Mm-hmm. And then in his last 2 games, he went 6 earned runs through 5, and then 6 earned runs through 2 2/3, respectively.
Against who?
Against Seattle, that was the 6 through 5, and then Detroit, which was 6 through 2.
Okay.
So it's almost exactly the same situation, really.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is it similar to Matt's? Do you think you're gonna drop him?
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna. I think Vargas has been doing well this season, of course.
Yeah, very well.
I mean, I don't think that he's gonna be a low 3s ERA by the end of the season. I mean, considering his lowest ERA before now was 3.71, and he's 34 or something right now. So I don't think he's gonna pull a Rich Hill and have his best season when he's like almost retired. I think he's going to end the season probably with a ERA close to that 3.7 mark he had in 2014. So there's probably going to be some regression there.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as his last few starts, but I can see him having like a lot more 6 innings, 3 earned run starts in the coming future.
Alright, so basically between these 2 pitchers, you're saying drop Matz, hang on to Vargas, but just expect kind of not much really.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. Don't expect the 3-year rate to hold.
Right. Okay, so let's look at the matchups for the next week. The 3 we have here are Zach Wheeler versus the Oakland A's, Ty Blach versus the Padres, and Garza versus the Phillies. Mm-hmm. With number 9 shortstop prospect Freddie Galvis, I might add. All right. So what do you think about these 3 matchups?
I think Wheeler would be my last. Because between the 3 teams, Oakland is probably the best hitting.
Yeah.
Then Wheeler. This is a home start?
Oakland. So it's Oakland, Philadelphia, and who else?
San Diego.
San Diego. So none of them are great. Oakland has the worst batting average of the 3. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's not true. San Diego. San Diego's last. Oakland's second to last. But I suppose if you want to look at something like slugging, then then Oakland is more middle of the pack. San Diego is still worst.
And in terms of runs scored, at least, San Diego and the Phillies are at the bottom two, I think.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
So, and then, I mean, on top of that, this is a home start, and Zach Wheeler has a 5 ERA at home. So, I think.
Yeah, so basically what we're coming down to is you've got Garza versus Philadelphia or Block versus San Diego. Garza has better numbers, kind of. He's the only one of these three pitchers that has a sub-4 ERA. And we know how much the Phillies stink. Then again, San Diego stinks as well.
Basically, people are just bad at baseball these days.
So these two, I agree with you that Wheeler is last, but these other two are pretty much a toss-up to me.
Is Ty Block start? Is that a home start?
It is Ty Block is away.
Ty Block's away.
Yes, Garza is. Oh no, I'm sorry. Ty Block is home. Garza is away.
Okay. I think I would go Block, Garza, Wheeler.
I think I agree.
Block's home ERA is 3.57, which is like, not bad.
Okay. Yeah, so I definitely agree with that. I guess. Hold on a second. Let's see what Daniel says. Head on over to random.org to see Daniel's guess. All right, his first pick is Ty Block.
Okay.
His second pick is Garza. So it's the same.
Wow. Okay.
So 1 in 9 chance of that happening. 1 in 6, rather.
So for those of you who might be confused, since Daniel isn't here, whenever we want to get his opinion, we just use a random number generator. And coincidentally, the random number generator gave us the same picks for matchups for the next week as Schumann and I did.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So
that's it.
So that's it for
fantasy baseball.
Exactly. So on to the trivia corner. So, trivia question for this week. I haven't been around for a few weeks, so I've missed them, obviously. But I'm going to bring it back to similar to what I did for the first and only trivia question. So the question for this week is, by innings, what is the longest pitching outing in MLB history? So if you guys want to go in the comments, go in the comments, post a guess. I'm just looking for the number of innings. I don't think anybody will have heard of this pitcher. But see if you can get close. Alok, what's your guess?
My guess
Start off here.
is 18 innings. 1-8.
18 innings. Okay.
18 innings.
18 innings. So 2 complete games. Are you sure about that?
2 complete games. Yeah, I mean, I'll go with that.
All right.
I don't know.
You can't change it. You already locked in. Daniel's guess, which we determined before the show.
By random number generator.
31 innings. So 31 innings. So he's going with 3 1/3 complete games.
And for the record, this was a random integer between 9 and 33, which is the longest
baseball
MLB game in terms of innings. So that's how we didn't get a number like 128 or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you do random from 1 to infinity, it could be literally anything.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Except for
And
anything
we also,
below 1.
we lower bounded by 9, of course.
Okay, alright, enough about random number generators. Okay. We're going really long, and it's mostly because we talked about random number generators so much. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty much it for our baseball segment. I'm going to just spend a little bit of time here. I mean, I'm going to start, although you can obviously weigh in. I'm going to talk about something that's been in the news a little bit, if you follow kind of more scientific or technical news. So, if anybody has heard of the concept called the Hyperloop, which is a concept for a high-speed, essentially rail system that some are planning to build, connecting major cities in the United States. So, several different tech companies and startups have gotten in on this. Elon Musk has plans for it. So what's been in the news recently, there's a company called Hyperloop One, which operates out of San Francisco. They're planning to design a Hyperloop system in the San Francisco, Los Angeles area, which would cover the gap of about 350 miles. Recently, they did a full systems test of their prototype system, and it went through without a hitch. So that's a very good step towards ultimately having this technology for public use. So I know people probably don't know the specifications really. So the way these work is it's a vacuum tube, essentially a huge vacuum tube all the way between the one destination to the other, and then the cars are suspended by maglev technology. So essentially there's no resistance. You can propel them up to enormous speeds. What did I say the top speed was? 600 miles an hour or something?
Oh, I thought you said 250.
250 is what they are predicting for near future tests.
Oh, okay.
But for the San Francisco to LA one, they expect to eventually achieve speeds around 600 or more, 600 miles per hour. So to put that in context, that would let you travel between the two cities, which is over 300 miles in right around half an hour. Right? Did I do that?
Which is
or it's 50 minutes?
300, yeah.
Something like that, 50 minutes.
300 miles, 600 miles an hour, so yeah, half an hour.
Sure. 50 minutes. Right? I'm mathing, right? Yeah. Okay, it's short. It's really quick, okay? It's really quick. It's just, all told, it would take you a lot longer to fly a plane there. It's obviously not because of the speed, it's because of all the other nonsense that goes on. So these things are going to work roughly like airports with several different tracks that will leave from terminals. They will be large passenger containers, so it's going to be highly efficient modes of transportation. And then also in the news, Elon Musk, as I mentioned earlier, is planning to design one in the New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, D.C. area. So basically between those four cities, it's going to be a nice little system. A lot of people commute, obviously, in the New York and Philadelphia area. Really all of those cities. So that's going to be a huge boost to the commute time for a bunch of people, really. So he recently he got the go-ahead to start development. So we're looking for that. It's pretty soon, a few years. So that's that. Hello?
Okay.
Anything to add?
No. I think that's everything.
They run on BASIC. Did you know that?
Run on BASIC?
Yeah, they run on BASIC. The entire system, yeah, it's controlled by. I'm just trying to talk about CS. That's a lie, by the way. They don't.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
They don't. That would not be good.
Honestly, that seems so absurd that I thought you meant something else, like some sort of fuel that was called basic. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, there is no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I have about that. Anything else? Anything else, Hulk?
No. I mean, sounds like interesting technology that we might see in our lifetimes.
How about you, Daniel?
Oh, wait.
You have to do the impression again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He just says yeah.
That's something Daniel would say.
How about, okay, I think I can do this.
One-word responses.
Like, yes, yeah, so, yeah, the Hyperloop is, it
I feel
exists.
Daniel would like give a one-word response.
I mean, he would mostly just talk about Lost or something.
That's true, but I don't know anything about Lost.
Yeah. Daniel's editing this, so no ripping on him too much.
He's probably gonna edit it out.
That's what we do after the show is over. All right. Anyway, so we're pushing 50 minutes at this point, 40 minutes maybe. So yeah, it's time to cut this off.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, or thanks for listening. Catch us next week on Fantasy and Friends.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.